analyzing players and the team. Keep a great company in the stream.
It's a Murali End. Welcome to the show. We're here when you're high. We're here when you're low. Some days you're happy, some days you wanna when happy it's we when man it's them. It's the same place, Murali End. Sri Lanka cricket we go represent. Go tell a friend.
Welcome to the Murali End. My name is Mark Machado. I'm joined today by my cousin, the Professor of Cricketology, Dominic Machado. This show is brought to you by Kid Rated. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't checked it out, go check out kidrated.com. It's a great website, particularly if you're a parent or maybe an uncle. I suppose everyone in Sri Lanka is an uncle or auntie if you're not a parent. So yeah, give it a go. We're talking, of course, about Sri Lanka's actually quite ecstatic. I'm quite ecstatic about the nature of the win against Afghanistan. We won. We didn't need to win. We just need to get 101 runs in the end. But we have got into the next stage. Sorry, I'm just hearing some absolutely terrible, sad news that apparently Dinth Walalagay's father has died. I think that's according to Rex Clementine. Dominic, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I've just seen this from Rex Clementine saying that Dinth Walalagay's father passed away from a heart attack. Yeah, so condolences to Dinth and all the best to his family. Really sad to hear that on the sort of in the aftermath of this match.
Yeah, tragic news. Life comes at you fast when you're Sri Lankan, right? Anyway, should we get into the game? Dom, in the end, it seemed quite easy, but there was a few tough moments during that game, right?
Yeah, in the end, it seemed quite easy. And I would say probably for 35 out of the 40 overs, we were really in control of that match. And we won it convincingly, right? Chasing 170 against this Afghan side that is vastly experienced. It's really good in these conditions. Was quite an accomplishment. And to do it with Pathum Nissanka getting out early, the guy who's been providing all the runs for us, was really a boost. I think this side will think of themselves a little bit more highly. I thought they came out and attacked this match in its sort of entirety from the beginning to the end. There were some feet put wrong at some points, and we'll talk about that. But I think overall, this was a very good performance, a professional performance. They didn't throw it away. Every time that Afghanistan looked like it was coming back into the game, Sri Lanka made sure to punch back and give them a little bit of trouble too.
Yeah, should we talk about the lineup, because there was some kind of I'm going to say it was a surprise. He's obviously, I don't know when the news came out. I don't know when his father passed away. I don't know if he knew before the game, but Dinth Walalagay did play today, which, to be honest, I wasn't expecting. Afghanistan basically falling apart to Bangladesh's left arm spin a couple of days ago, and the idea was that we kind of try and repeat the trick. It didn't quite work, though, did it?
Well, yeah, I think this was something that people had seen after Nasim Ahmed. I think it was a smart decision anyway, regardless of whether Nasim Ahmed did that or not, because they have 10 right-hand batters in this Afghani lineup. So for me, the issue isn't so much bringing in Walalagay, but again, it's pursuing that 7-4 lineup, because that 7-4 lineup leaves you very vulnerable if someone has a bad day. And Chamira had a little bit of a bad day, and Walalagay bowled well except for one over, right? And that almost ended up costing us the match, and it certainly cost us a chance at kind of bowling them out for 120, right? I think we've talked about this strategically. It seems like Asalanka uses a wicket as a chance to rush through his fifth bowler quota of overs. So Dasun Shanaka came in right after we took a wicket. And I think that's where you bring in Hasaranga I think also if you're bringing in Will Alligay, you naturally lengthen the batting. So you might say to yourself, okay, but we can afford to pull out another batter and actually put in another bowler. We're not taking advantage of the fact that we have people like Hasaranga and Will Alligay who can actually bat and bowl.
Yeah. You see, for me, what do I know? I'm just a bloke who sits at home watching Sri Lankan cricket and then has a podcast like a lot of other men in this world. But for me, the strength in Sri Lankan cricket is our bowling, and currently, we've never had that before. And actually, I think we need to be thinking bowlers first, right? Because at the moment, I still think today I thought 170. There was points when I was like, this might get away from us. We kept rebuilding through the innings, which is something I haven't seen in quite a while for Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
I still think though we're not. We need to turn up there in a situation where we know that we've got kind of close to good 30 overs from lots of different variety, and then kind of backfill the batting for the back of that, because you don't need to bat deep if you're not chasing that many runs.
Yeah.
If you look at the way T20 cricket's going, run chase, teams are able to score more and more runs. We had the first 300 scored the other day, didn't we? I kind of, I can't get this news that Will Alligay played this game today, and seemingly his father's passed away today as well. I mean, it's an absolute tragedy. We can't not talk about this game without talking about this final over. And I can't separate this news that we've now discovered.
Here, I'll separate it a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you look at Will Alligay as a bowler, right, what his strengths and weaknesses are, he can bowl well in the power play and he can bowl well in the middle overs. He's never really been asked, no, I don't even say really, he's never been asked to bowl at the death. That's a bit of a ridiculous ask for him. Yes, Deekshana can bowl at the death, but he is a different player. He's a player who's been doing that for years. So to chuck him in and say, we're going to take that last over, right? And last match, they ended with Dasan Shanaka. So I don't see, and Shanaka has bowled at the death. So for me, I think you can bank one of Shanaka's overs for the end and let him bowl at the death. Let them try to do something with not that much pace on the ball, bowling into the wicket. And you're just putting Will Alligay in a bad situation where it's an everything must go situation with Nabi. And you're facing a guy who mashes spin historically. So to my mind, it was poor planning. You bring Will Alligay in. You can't bring Will Alligay in as a complete like for Deekshana. You have to mix up some of your other strategies, right? It also kind of brings into relief when Thushara is such a potent weapon up top, right? You want to give him 3 overs, but this is where someone like a Matisha Patirana being in the side would have made a huge difference, right? We talk about how inconsistent he is, but he's not going to get hit for 31 runs in an over. So I think, to me, it's a captaincy question. It's a selection question. Like, I'd like to see that 6-5, because I also think some of the guys we bring in are not that far off. Like, if you brought in Will Alligay for, say, KJP, or Chamika for KJP, or someone like that, it's not that much of a drop off in batting. It's maybe a little bit, but you gain a lot in the bowling front.
So the other thing that I think we need to discuss is, so for me, Sri Lanka has all the talent that we need to go on and be as competitive as we've ever been and go up and compete against teams. The two things that are kind of currently holding us back is are we getting enough fixtures, which is a wide, are we kind of setting them up well enough to be able to go and win games, which is a wider discussion that isn't to do with anything on the field. And the second thing is on the field, when we're in those moments, are we making the right cricketing decisions? Is the cricket brain working? Because I think if you're going to go in kind of essentially a full-time bowler short, I think that's kind of fine. But you've got to constantly then try and go for the kill. Well, what we saw today, and also what we saw against Bangladesh, was they get caught up in the middle, and they're not kind of doing that. So when I think it was Nirwan Tushra took a wicket, the next over after that was to the part-timers. Dasan Shanaka was absolutely superb today with the ball. Well, that's all he had to do. And Weller was kind of doing all right. But he went straight to Dustin Sharlicker after that, and that's an over that we know likely that's an over the opposition are going to go after. So especially if there's new batters, that's when a new batter the time they're most likely to get out is when they've just come in. So don't give them an over to reset. If they'd gone for the kill there and got wickets over there, you wouldn't have had to worry almost about that final over, or the final over would potentially be against the tail end. So it's not a. I think in that moment they need to get a bit smarter, because then what happens is he just on field we mismanaged who was bowling when, which was a shame. Savina's written. So what happens with was Charth wanted to get Nabi out by bowling Shamira and Tishra, bowling them early, but they got the chance but failed to get the catch. So that's why it backfired. I kind of get that, but he needs to think a little bit deeper. I agree. If you've got Nabi there, you don't bowl that. Something else, even if it's switch the 18th and 19th over the 19th and 20th over right? Just do something.
I think that's a really interesting point, Mark, is like, right, you got them under control, try to sneak that over of Will Alagay in, and I get you're trying to give Shamira that chance to blow it out there, but that's always risky, and there were just no other options, because he's not going to bowl himself, he's not going to bowl Kamindu Mendes, Dawson is bowled out, Tashara is bowled out. So that to me is the issue, is that the only options to bowl that last over are spin bowlers. You've got to create a better setup so that that's not the case, because I don't think that should ever, I guess hopefully they've learned their lesson now that this is not something.
Yes. So for me, the way I would plan a T20 innings if I was in charge somehow is go, right, who's bowling in the power play? Who do we want bowling the power play, and who do we want bowling at the end? And then in the middle is when you mix stuff up, right? Because those are the 2 points where people are scoring big runs. Like maybe, and on top of all that, we also know that Waddy wants to bowl in the middle. He wants to bowl from over 17 to 15, right? So that's 4 of those overs taken care of. It's the kind of the 6 up front, and then maybe the 4 at the back. So.
I want to read this comment from It's Ticking to you, Mark, because so Thikshana is probably the answer. You have the option to play him in the power play or the death, allows you to bowl part-timers in the middle phase. See, this is key, right? That's why Thikshana is such a linchpin for this team, is because he does what a fast bowler does, right? He can bowl in the power play and bowl at the death. And then you can mix everything in the middle. So I think it's not a problem to bring in Will Alagay as long as you have other options. And I think that's how they have to think about it. They realize that Nuwan Thushara is a really good resource in the power play, especially when the ball is swinging. And then the question becomes after that, how do we arrange everything so that we have those back overs covered? Because that's where teams can bolt the gate. And certainly, Afghanistan did not bolt the gate early, but against a team like India, right, that could be 3 overs of pain.
Yeah. So for me, if you look at it, I would kind of rate, and I know I'd love to know what other people think about this, but in terms of kind of fear, or teams I fear the most, I would kind of go Zimbabwe at the bottom, then Bangladesh, and then Afghanistan. Obviously, we played Hong Kong in the middle there, and that was nearly a disaster. But let's kind of draw a line through that. We've now got Bangladesh on Saturday, and then I haven't looked at the calendar yet, but at some point next week we have to play Pakistan and India, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Pakistan are that much better than Bangladesh or Afghanistan, but it's all going to be kind of right. How do we just play Bangladesh so much? It wouldn't surprise me if somehow or another we end up playing them this Saturday and next Saturday in a final as well. But and each Bangladesh game is becoming more and more of a challenge. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But I want to know, because what I'm seeing in the last week, 4 games in a week now, is it? Or 5 games in a week, is it?
4, I think 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. The Zimbabwe game was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? Yeah. What we're seeing though is gradual improvement, and I think that there's things that are happening which are we're kind of getting smarter. I think that the bowling thing is something that almost, because we we haven't had to think too much about because we haven't been playing kind of critical clutch games that often. We're not in, major tournaments don't come around every series.
I think the other thing is the teams that we were playing are not teams that can put up 300, right? Like no offense to Afghanistan, Bangladesh, or Pakistan, but their strength is not in getting 200 plus scores. It's when you play India and England and South Africa and Australia that you have to worry about those things.
Dom, should we open up the what's it called, the studio? I just can't stop thinking about Dennis Malala, man.
What a day for him. I think
poor kid.
He's been sitting on the bench waiting for this opportunity, and this is what happened. So prayers out to him, and hope that he finds some solace in this really difficult time, and that the team supports him and comes around him.
Yeah, and all his family as well. Yeah. I'm sure they will. Like, Lankers are good at running around people. Guys, if you want to come and join us and tell us what you think of today's game, we haven't even got into the batting, Dom. We've just been talking about what's going on off in the first innings. We should mention how good the batter was, because it was good today, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tricky run chase against an excellent bowling lineup, and I think that's where really they stood out. I thought Kusal kind of played the possum a little bit. He didn't go aggressively. He knew that he had to bat to the end to take on the spinners, and he handled them. Like, he hardly put a foot wrong. I can maybe remember one or two balls that he may have misplayed, but everything was off the middle of the bat, and he kind of had clear control and he had clear purpose. And I really actually quite liked the way the middle order played around him. Charith and Kamindu and even Kusal Pereira came in, showed aggression, went for the boundaries, and kept that rate within touching distance while Mendis ticked it over. So that was really pleasant to see, and to see them without leaning on Nissanka, right? Because we've been leaning on Nissanka a lot recently, and it was good to see Mendis put his hand up. There had been concerns that he was a little out of form, but I think he showed that wasn't the case. And you could see, I think that this was really cool. You could see how much it meant to him at the end, the way he kind of celebrated that victory.
A double Mendis special to quote. Basically, everyone online said that. We've got a couple of people backstage waiting to come on. Asan, I'll come to you first, and Nipun, I'll come to you after that. Asan, bro, how's it going? How are you feeling after that?
Yo, what's going on? Relieved, man. I mean, finally, I'm good, man. How are you guys doing? First of all, condolences.
Oh, I think, have we lost Asan?
Yeah, we briefly
team
lost.
And everyone will be behind him and the supporters as well. But yeah, great performance by us. Very clinical. I think this is what we needed from our middle order for a long time, at least to show some sort of stability. And it's always nice to see Kusal Mendis kind of finish off the innings as well. But yeah, I think this will give us a lot of confidence heading into the Super Fours. In terms of bowling, I think we got the lineup right, but it was the execution that was wrong. Velalagi shouldn't have bowled that last over, and it kind of spoiled his figures, because I think leading up to the last over, I think he had figures of like 3 for 19. Got 1 wicket, 3 overs, and gave away 19 runs. So, look, I think it's just a learning experience for him. The one thing that should happen right now is that the board and the team should support him a lot, not just because of his, father's passing, but also, I think this sort of hammering would dent any bowler's confidence, and I think it'll be unjust just to drop him like that. But it's going to be interesting to see. I think we have two, and I don't mean to say this in a disrespectful way, but I think we have 2 important games leading up to our big game, which is against India on Friday. And if we do well and we continue the way we're playing, especially like how we played today, I think that will give us a lot of confidence and hopefully seal a spot in the finals. But look, Bangladesh were ridiculously good against Afghanistan in their previous match, and we can't take them lightly, and neither can we take Pakistan, because the problem with Pakistan is the minute you give them hope, they mess it up, and the minute you don't give them hope, they surprise everyone. So 2 crucial matches prior to our match against India. But yeah, I think overall, like, a good performance by us.
Yeah, it's a lot of the worries I had, they were able to kind of answer right. I thought
Hmm.
I was a little bit worried. Apart, if you take the final over out of it, it's an absolutely incredible
Yeah,
bowling performance, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
exactly.
I was the two things that were starting to worry me about our batting was an over reliance on Patham and Kusal Mendis not being in the runs.
Hmm.
Today, both those things were kind of answered, right?
Yeah.
It's good to kind of get into the next stage, and
Hmm.
it feels like everyone at the top order has kind of been in some runs at some point. I thought Kamindu was absolutely sensational today.
Yeah, I was going to say to bring this up, Mark. You were asking about the way we batted. Savina brings up 26% dot ball percentage, and to do that against Afghanistan's bowlers who bowl that wicket to wicket line, where it's easy to sort of say, okay, I'm going to take it easy and not. But they were getting runs constantly. They played spin really well. That was something that was concerning me because for two reasons, right? We have a left-hander heavy lineup, so against teams like Afghanistan that have lots of spin options, they can match up against you. And two, right, you don't want to get bogged down and let someone like Rashid Khan bowl at you and bowl aggressively at you. And they were able to do that. So seeing that was really pleasing to me, I think. And they did it very comfortably. There was no like sort of excessive, uh, sort of shots. They didn't hit a six until the 17th or 18th over. I would like to see them step that up a little bit, in the future. But the fact that they were able to chase 170 comfortably without really being super aggressive is a good sign.
Yeah, absolutely. Asad, I'm going to let you go only because, bro, we've got loads of people who want to come and
Yeah, sure.
chat to us today. So we'll
It's
see
cool,
you
man.
back
No
on.
worries. Have a good evening, guys.
Thank you. See you back on Saturday, though. Yeah.
All right, take care, man. Have a good weekend,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
All
you
right,
too.
speak to you all in a
See
bit.
ya. See ya. I'm gonna get Napuna on. Napuna, I think this is your debut. I don't know if you could put your camera on or put your microphone on.
I've been trying the camera, don't know what's
Yeah.
up, so that's my bad. Again, I
No
just want to
worries,
start
man.
by
Whereabouts are you joining from?
I'm joining in from Canada, Toronto, Canada.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
lovely, lovely. I love Toronto. It's one of my favorite parts of North America, and you'll often see me in a Blue Jays
Yeah, I was going to say, weren't
t-shirt
you wearing it
and hat.
last time?
I
Last
was, yeah. For me, the Blue Jays and the Raptors, that's like Sri Lanka's team, isn't it? Like, Dom, we have lots of relatives in Toronto,
Yep.
in the what is it called, Greater Toronto area?
Yeah, I was going to say the
Yeah.
Mississauga area.
Yeah, around Mississauga. I'm sure we've got relatives in Brampton.
Yeah.
So I've always been like, this is like a Sri Lankan town, isn't it? Like every restaurant you go to over there, there's always Sri Lankan chefs in the back.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Anyway, enough of me talking about food. How I managed to angle that in. What do you want to say about the game?
Thought that was a good game. I thought it was some good cricket at hand. Like I really enjoyed how they played. Obviously there were those moments where didn't go our way. Feel really bad for Walalage, but it was solid cricket. That batting performance, you can go in with some confidence now when you're going into the Super Fours. So it's really good to see that, but still stuff to improve on. Can we find that fifth bowler? Really important.
Yeah.
What do you think about the 11 today, and would you be changing much for?
I thought it was a solid
Saturday,
11. But I would have honestly played Mahesh Dikshana. I thought playing Mahesh would have given us that luxury of having some overs to bowl in the power play and the death. Would have been nice to have that. But it's just really tough. Yeah, I heard Dominic, you were saying that we should play a 6-5. It's just for us, it's really tough to have the confidence in our middle order. Thankfully, today we can look forward to some of it, but it's tough to play 5 bowlers when we have the batting that we have.
Well, I think that's the question is who that fifth bowler is, right? Is it a Chamaka or Walalage, right? A sort of bowling all-rounder who can bat a bit, or is it, if you're playing a tail with Patharana, Dikshana, Chamira, and Tushara, that's quite a long tail. So I think there's thinking about what ways we can do it is a tricky question. So Nipuna, do you have a preference? Do you think 7-4 works?
I think 7-4 realistically is what they're going to continue to do. But I would love to see the fifth bowler because I think our part-timers in Sri Lanka and Kusal Mendis, even sometimes Shanika, it's a gamble. And I don't like that gamble, but 7-4 might be the way because we're able to bat deeper, especially in games like that Hong Kong game. Who knows what could have happened? But hopefully only good things happen from here.
I'm interested to see if they stick with that 7-4 for the India game. I think that because there's two things. I want them to come out and the next two games are 7-4. I want them to come out and go, we trust the process. We're not here. This isn't about a one-off game. This is about Sri Lanka becoming a team that becomes, that slowly starts to win things around the world. And we think we're going to win it 7-4. And that way, even though I necessarily feel 7-4 might not be the best thing, that way I'll feel more confident in what they're doing, has some long-term strategy. Because I think if we have long-term strategy, and we'll start to see kind of bits of it come through, then I think we could be onto something, right? Because for me, I want to win everything. I want to win Asia Cups. I want to win World Cups. But beyond that, I want to see Sri Lanka get back to being almost dynastical, like another dynasty of Sri Lankan cricket re-emerge. That's what I want. But obviously, every fan wants that, right?
And I think, Mark, the thing that what you have said is, can they show that they can chase 250? That they have the mentality to do that? We've also had the good fortune of batting second and chasing in every single match. So what's going to happen inevitably when we get put in?
Today we were lucky, right? Because Afghanistan won the toss and decided to have a bat. If I was advising the team playing against us, I'd be like, try and get us into bat first. Because what our players don't like is uncertainty, right? And also I think when we are kind of good at pacing it. In the there was moments today I thought were nervy, but I also felt like actually we could have easily got near the 200 mark today if we needed to. Hello said, but why they don't show the same intent when batting first? I think the problem is, I think we're almost like they either go in too slow or they go all hell for leather, and it's like we're like 6 down after 8 overs or something, and then it just all falls apart. Anyway, Napuna, anything else you'd like to add? I'm just trying to get through people because there's quite a lot of people backstage. We want to get everyone on if possible. So,
no, nothing else, really. It was just I think we need to give a word. Sorry,
I was going to say at this point, now that we're through, what would you want to see now that would make you think this has been a good tournament for Sri Lanka?
I'd like to see now. Honestly, it's giving a good fight to India. I just want to see that good fight to India. I think the last few times we played them in T20s, especially that 2024 T20 series where we gave it away, I think, in every single game. I want to see them show fight to them. And definitely, you need to make sure we put Pakistan in their place because, in my opinion, they're not a strong team right now. So we need to make sure we take advantage of that and get to another final. And from there, it's anyone's game. That's the beauty of T20 cricket. So that's about it.
Let's see how it goes. Napuna, thank you for joining us. Hopefully, if you could just hang about in the back for a few minutes while your video uploads, and hopefully you'll come back and join us again soon, and we'll be celebrating again soon. Shabneh, thank you for joining Murali End. Whereabouts are you calling from, bro?
From Colombo, man.
Oh, okay. Wicked! Do you know what's mad? You're like the first person who's ever been on this show.
I kind of noticed it's always British or someone from America or Canada.
Yeah, I was going to call them cousins.
We've even had Australians who are like on at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I was going to get cousins and uncles and all sorts of people would be like, "Can someone come on, please?" Anyway, what do you think of the game today?
I think it was a clinical performance. It was an all-round performance. I think I dropped in a comment a little while ago as well. One bad over doesn't define the team's performance for the day. That can happen to any team who's having a good day. So it's what it is. But it's good that we didn't succumb to that pressure of that last over, taking that into the dressing room. I think the boys came out quite positive. But one thing that I have noticed, I think starting the Zimbabwe tour, is the difference in the approach in batting in the T20 setup.
Yeah.
We seem to be going after the runs a little bit more. And I have a feeling it has a lot to do with the power hitting training that the team went under just before the Zimbabwe tour over here with a foreign coach that came in. I think the team was doing quite good. And I also think that Kusal Mendis's kind of slight slump in form since then had to do with a bit of a technique, because when it comes to the power game, it's all about opening up your shoulder and staying flat on, straight on to play your shots. And it looked like Kusal was committing a little bit too early into going on sideways in his innings, and that kind of gave his wicket away. And I think today he stayed side on a little bit more before thinking of turning his shoulders around for his square shots, right?
Yeah, the other thing I've noticed as well is I feel we're running a lot more singles and a lot more ones becoming twos, and that suddenly, because you get to 4 balls into an over, and not that long ago that we'd have got maybe 2 runs off that, but suddenly now we're getting 3 or 4, and that just puts a little bit more pressure off the next 2 balls.
Yeah,
you definitely saw the urgency today.
Yeah, and I mean, there was a real risk if we weren't doing that. If we didn't kind of embrace this a few months ago, it felt like we were going to struggle to chase anything over like 150, 160.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're connecting the balls much better. They're waiting a little bit more. And what a start by Tushara today!
Oh my gosh!
Wow,
it looked like he was spin bowling at 135 clicks. The way it was, it was amazing.
It was beautiful to see that ball swinging away.
Yeah.
And they did not have an answer to that. Everyone was squaring up against him. So that was beautiful.
It was Malinga-esque. We don't use that term lightly, but the way he was moving the ball and uprooting the stumps was Malinga-esque there.
It's he's becoming fairly consistent as well, right? I mean, we've had
he's number
2
6
big games.
I
didn't realize he was that highly rated, like high up in the rankings.
And I think today's performance might put him up further.
Yeah,
he was 6th. I think he's probably going to go at least 2 more knots up.
Deserves it. Deserves everything.
Deserves it. Yes. He's an unsung hero. No one talks about him much, but he quietly comes and does his thing and goes, right.
And how hard he's worked on his game, because I think 5 years ago none of us would have predicted. We see this guy, he's a slinger, okay, he's kind of pacey, but didn't expect him to be a full-on top-notch player. So he's worked really hard, especially he got picked up when he was 26, 27. He didn't get picked up when he was 18. And he's made everything count. And you love to see that. You just love to see a player like that be rewarded for that hard work.
Yeah, I think Malinga worked with him quite a bit over the last couple of years. And you can see the hand going from side to just the wrist difference. And that's where he's starting to get that outward curve on the ball when he's bowling. So hats off. You still got to put it in the right place. And he's doing it.
Sri Lankan cricket has moved well from its kind of Malinga era into the actual living in the Malinga-verse, isn't it? It's like there's like always 2 or 3 guys now who can.
There's about another 2 or 3 coming up in the school cricket scene as well. Yeah.
Left arm slingers. Now once
there's a left arm slinger. Yeah,
we got to keep that. We've got to keep that under wraps till the right moment, and then surprise everybody.
I'm really surprised that other parts of South Asia haven't produced a slinger yet. I mean, I suppose Bumrah kind of is, right?
Pakistan has Zaman Khan.
Oh, really? I haven't.
Zaman Khan. But aside
I'm unaware
from
of his work.
I haven't seen anyone.
I haven't too.
So, Shabda, I'll ask this question that I asked earlier to you. What now that we're through to the group of 4 Super 4s, whatever they're calling it, what is good from this point in?
I mean, not to be too bullish, but looking at how the teams have been playing, it seems quite clear that we could go straight into the finals with India. Pakistan is not playing their best cricket at the moment. Um, Political stuff aside, I think they're a team that's rebuilding right now. They've thrown in a bunch of youngsters in there, so they'll need some time. Gives us a good opportunity to take it game by game. And if we can make it to the finals, I'm sure India's going to make it there unless something freaky happens. You know, I think it's anybody's game on the final if that's the case.
On this Cricket Smash channel, we've been doing other shows. So we did a show around Bangladesh versus Afghanistan on, what was that, Tuesday night or Wednesday night? And then yesterday we did the show around Pakistan after Pakistan beat the UAE. And we've been talking about, yesterday we were talking about how the ACC and the ICC and India and Pakistan basically designed this tournament for Pakistan to play India 3 times, and that has never ever happened because no one told Sri Lanka, right? So I totally agree with you. I think for me, the next goal has got to be try and get to that final. Get two wins will probably be enough to do it. But yeah, get to the final.
Honestly, we look a complete side right now, and we have a decent bench strength. Bench strength in terms of swapping people with the right skills according to the opponent that we are playing as well. A couple of years ago, we were scraping to find fast bowlers. We were scraping to figure out who's going to pair up with Wani and Tikshana if needed as an extra spinner. I think we've got the bases covered now, and even the bench strength, they are in form. Binura hasn't played. Binura's fielding is one thing, but dude's been bowling quite good. And just imagine someone like Lahiru Kumar, who's not in the T20 setup at the moment, who bowled crazy good in England and is in top form. You play a guy like that or a Australian track in a T20. I mean, we've got the people now. It's exciting time.
Lots of English fans keep asking me what's happened to him, what's happened to Kamara, where's Kamara? And I'm like, don't worry, we're just resting him for you. Next,
that's true.
Yeah, we're playing England a lot next year, so hopefully I'll get another win. Sanuda said 2 wins is enough. What you want about, Mark? Go unbeaten and beat India as well. Look, that's what I want, but you know, that's my 100%. Like exams, that's what, if it doesn't happen, I'll be crying about. But I'm also trying to be realistic, right? This was always the road to the World Cup. This was always just a stop on the way. There is a much bigger prize. This isn't the main thing. The main prize is, we all talk about it, that golf cart going around Ahmedabad, Narendra Modi waving at us, AKD waving at us, you know, Charatha Solanka coming out. That is what I want. That is the main prize here. This is all about figuring it. For me, this is all about figuring out how to do it. It's not. It is winning is good and important, but it's about building something bigger than what this team can achieve. That's what I think. I could be totally wrong. Shabde, before we let you go, I'm going to be in Sri Lanka. I'm hoping to be at Sri Lanka's game against Australia in the Women's World Cup. Might I bump into you there? Might you be around in the stadium?
Yes, for sure, man. I should be around.
Wicked.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do is, if there's enough people up for it in Colombo, try and put some kind of meet up together as well. After that game somewhere. I don't know, like, you know, obviously there is a number of locations in Colombo where people meet up. People want to make suggestions in the comments, whatever. Let's go into that. I'll start talking about that next week because yes, I've had a mad busy week.
Definitely, man. Anyway. Let's meet up. Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, cool. Shabde, thank you for joining, bro. We'll see you soon. Hopefully, see you in the next couple of days after one of the games. Dom, do you need to leave us?
I need to leave you guys, but I trust that you're in good hands with all this audience here that's ready to come talk to you.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to come and chat to me, jump in the comment section and jump on the link in the comment section, and we will have a chat. Dom, I will remove you, and I will bring Kulanu on stage. Hey, bro, how's it going? How you doing? Oh, I think you're on mute. Are you on mute? I'm not sure. I can't hear you. Well done. Anyway, while you're trying to sort your sound out, I just want to let people know that I also run another YouTube channel called Football Smash. If you're into football or what Dominic calls soccer, that's why I can only talk about it once he leaves. Then please go check out Football Smash YT and give me a subscribe. I don't on it that much. Occasionally, I might be on it. Anyway, Kulanu, how's your sound? No, I still can't hear you. I'm going to remove you off stage, and then if you can, I'll bring you back on in a minute or two. Let's go through some of the comments that we're getting in. If you haven't heard the news, there's some very sad news that broke minutes after the game that Sanjeeva has talked about here. Dineth Walalagay's father has passed away. Obviously, condolences from everyone here at the Murali End to the Walalagay family. It's I can't imagine what Dineth must be going through at the moment. Kalina, I'll try and get you back on, see if it's working now. How you going? No, can't hear you. I'll tell you what, do this. Leave the thing and come back in. I'll repost in the link, and hopefully that might work. If you want to come and have a chat with me, tell me what you thought, click on that link and then you can come on. Let me look at some of the other comments. A lot of people, sending their condolences on. It's very sad. I mean, geez, can't imagine that. This I thought was a good comment from Don. There's a mismanaging the potential Sri Lankan Ravinda Jadeja. It's so sad to see. I assume you talk about Dineth Walalagay. Yeah, I do think, obviously, Dineth's having quite a big day at the moment, but I do think he should have had plenty more caps at this point. Right, let's try and get... right, is that working? No. Hold on. Let me see if I can. No, there's nothing. Have you got another device? Just come on your phone. Sorry, bro. I want to get you on. I want to speak to you though. It's been an exciting day for all of us, hasn't it? This is quite interesting. I'm not generally up for. I love Angelo Matthews. But it is clear that he wants to play in the team. Angelo looking at his lips after seeing that Dustin is inconsistent. That might be the case, that Dustin's slightly inconsistent with the bat. But I think the thing is, it's the job that people are that he's being asked to do. He's coming into bat and expecting to score runs quickly. So there's no point in him hanging about. If he gets out quick, I'm kind of cool with that, because you got to die trying. But again, as I always say, I could be totally wrong. Right. One more shot. Here we go. How's that? Can we hear you now?
How about now?
Yeah, man. It sounds great.
Fantastic. My apologies for the difficulties in the.
Don't worry, man. These things happen, don't they?
Yeah.
Anyway, are you still in DC? Are you still joining us from DC?
Yes, I am trying to sneak in the watch of the game, and the analysis, everything in the middle of work and everything else. But in the middle of the day, but
Oh, good man.
Sri Lanka cricket,
Yeah, exactly right. It's the trials and tribulations of it.
Yes.
And also the big boss over there. He's in the UK at the moment, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
I say big boss. I have no idea if you work for him or not, and if you do, that's cool.
No, I don't. Thankfully,
I don't want people to get the wrong impression. Anyway, right. Tell me what you thought of the game.
No, yeah, I thought a couple of things I liked about it. I mean, if you ask me on the day we got all out for 80 back in Zimbabwe. 3 wins out of 3 right now, I would have bitten your hand off. So first of all, based on results, really happy. A couple of points that I wanted to be happy about the game was some of the things that we wanted to address from the last game that the team has been talking about. The first couple of overs while bowling, we weren't as great as the Bangladesh game. We were wavered in the Hong Kong game, but we did not let it go. The fourth over and the fifth over and how we ended the power play with a few wickets actually pegged them back. So I was quite pleased the way we fought and didn't let that go, where we still believed in the abilities of like Tushar and others to still strike. That's number one. And obviously, last over, I echo your thoughts on Dunit and condolences to his family. Obviously, he had a tough day in terms of the last over. But as people have mentioned, can we win a game with a few slip-ups even then? Like, do we need to play the perfect game and then only we can win? Or can we have allowances for things going a little here and there, or somebody having a bad day and still come up with a performance? So that's something I wanted to see, and that happened because the shots at the end at the boundary line when that over ended, obviously heads were down, right? Because you don't expect to get hit that much, because after having them, and Nabi is also a good hitter. I mean, we should give credit to him, because it's not easy to take down. The intent to take down the spinner in the last over is there for everyone, but to actually do it is quite phenomenal, right? So it's to do with Nabi as well, less to do with Walalage. So I was happy with that aspect. And then the final one was, how do we react when Pathum falls early?
Yeah,
he fell relatively early today, and then we got the game. I mean, obviously I was nervous a little bit by the time we got to 100, and then Ravi Shastri said Sri Lanka qualifies, and then I was like, okay, now I can watch the game a little bit more relaxed. But I think it went okay. I do have to jump off a little bit, so I know that you might ask me the question of like what next as well. So I would say just game by game. I still don't have much hope not in terms of performances, but actually things can go anywhere in the T20 game, right? Especially against Bangladesh. We shouldn't be overconfident because we beat them once. Remember, they beat Afghanistan as well. So I think we need to start afresh against Bangladesh as well. They might change their combinations or whatever. India game is, of course, a nothing to lose one. But I do agree with everyone else. We need to take down Pakistan because they are low in confidence. So hopefully we get to the final, but I'm still taking it game by game. Yeah.
So I'll come to some of the earlier points first.
Yeah.
I think for me, the most exciting thing that we're seeing from this side is, look, we always know Sri Lanka is going to produce great, talented cricketers, right? But we also know just because you can do it in domestic form, or you've done it at home when in conditions you're used to, doesn't mean you're going to be able to do it in an under pressure situation, right?
Yeah.
But what we're starting to see is we're starting to really see kind of really good players become match winners, right? And I've often I think about why Australian cricket has at points not had a team where you think is overly talented, but still gone on to win stuff, right? You look at that last
in India, right? The last
India,
World
right?
Cup, yeah,
The last
against
World
India.
Cup. It's because they've just got the right mentality, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it was all about developing the mentality. On this show, we've been critical at points about what Sanath has done with the side, and we've been critical. I'm critical of the lineup, we're critical of tactics and stuff like that. But I think the thing we're seeing with the longer he's there is he's developing resilient cricketers, right? I don't know how that's happened. I don't know what conversations I had behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But it like Pathum Nissanka, and there's a great piece Fidel has written for ESPN Cricket Info about him that I imagine everyone here has already read. That I think it came out yesterday. But if you haven't, go look at it.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Pathum Nissanka has, and we've talked about this loads in this show. He increases. He gets slightly better over time, right? Which is absolutely, every series, it's like he's a slightly better batter, which is incredible. You can tell from the way Pathum Nissanka goes about his business that he is not intent in when he retires, 10, 15, 20 years time, when he's sitting at a bar somewhere in Colombo and someone goes, what do you do? Or what have you done? He doesn't want to just say, oh, he opened the batter for Sri Lanka a few times in all formats. Pathum Nissanka wants to say, I was one of the best people to ever open the batter for Sri Lanka. And I was one of the, I defined an era of Sri Lankan cricket, and I won this, and this with it. You can tell that from the way he plays, and you can tell that mentality is starting to seep through the teams. I'm not saying it's coming from Pathum. There's other players who clearly got it.
Yeah.
The reason I love Dunith Walalage, and the reason why I will always back Kamindu to be in a T20 side is because I think those two players, from what I can see or have seen of them, are players that have got that. You look at Kamindu, right? Coming into, a few weeks ago, we're all saying he's batting in the wrong place, needs to bat higher up. but he's also saying he's not a natural finisher. He looks at this side, and whether the management have had that conversation or whether he's decided it, he's just gone, I'm going to seize this opportunity. And that's what he's done. Today, he was sensational. He didn't have a huge job to do, but he did it. And he made it look effortless. And none of us are like, it's almost like with Kaminda, we're like used to that happening now. Yeah. Right.
The shot that he played off Farooqi, I think, the 6, that was amazing, right? Towards the end.
Yeah, that was incredible, wasn't it? I mean, obviously, as you know, I'm a very enthusiastic and optimistic Sri Lanka fan, right?
Same.
I love it. Yeah. I think if you're watching this, if you're a regular participator of the show, then you probably will be. But like, I also think this is a really exciting time for Sri Lankan cricket. We're seeing a lot of these players came through 2 or 3 years ago, kind of off the back of COVID, and we saw glimpses of it. And now we're starting to see it really kind of come together. I mean, the conversations that we have around they should play this, like the selection's wrong. I mean, these are conversations that basically Sri Lanka fans have never had before, because even in the glory days, it was like, all right, we've got 13 players. The option is, do we go an extra pacer or do we go another spinner? Right?
No, for sure, Mark. I think I've been thinking about this combination question, right? It's very subjective. I would like a 6-5, but as you mentioned, if we are going with that and backing that and playing to a strategy, I'm fine with that, because obviously in our back of our hearts, we know that we are slightly worried about our batting. So we'd like the extra batter, however we try to analyze it otherwise. So I'm comfortable with that. If these guys want to go ahead with and play well with this combination, so it's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, Kaluni, thank you for joining me today.
Likewise. Thank you.
I think we're going to wrap this up. I'll let you go. I'll kind of wrap this up. I think I haven't been keeping abreast of what's been going on in the chats, so nothing's caught my eye. We will definitely be back though on after the game on Saturday. Is it Saturday we're playing? It is Saturday. We'll be back after the Bangladesh game on Saturday. Now's the time. It's been getting serious for Sri Lanka. This is the prelude to this tournament is over. We've done the bare minimum that we need to do, which is to get to the final 4 stage. Now got to go on and put our best foot forward and hopefully get some big results and get people around the world talking about us. We've been the Murali End. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. See you all soon.
It's the Murali End. You're in a place to be. Analyze the players and the team. Keep a great company in the stream.
It's a Murali End. Welcome to the show. We're here when you're high. We're here when you're low. Some days you're happy, some days you wanna when happy it's we when man it's them. It's the same place, Murali End. Sri Lanka cricket we gon' represent. Go tell a friend.